and I don't see them being rectified anytime soon.
No, I agree. I agree with you on that. Graham, do you have anything more to add to that?
Corbyn, yeah. I've no truck with the Labour Party now. They're a spent force for me. They've let Scotland down. But I think when Corbyn came to power, you saw the massive support that went to Labour. I think he was on the right track. I think the Labour Party, a good socialist party, should stand up and say, listen, we're going to get rid of nuclear weapons. We're going to raise taxes substantially for the top 5% in this country. They're going to have to pay their share, as Harold Wilson did in the 70s. The Tories love to talk about the terrible 70s. I lived through the 70s, and I remember the change it made to our community. I lived in a street where there was maybe 3 cars in the whole street. By the end of the 70s, nearly every household had a car, and that was through spreading the wealth about. But he's sitting on the fence on it all. They should just come out and say what exactly they're for, and I think they would win the election. But I think what he's doing, where he's just sitting, as Callum said, he's sitting on the fence and everything, that doesn't win you any votes.
No.
I think the way things are standing, the next government will be a Conservative government in England. Obviously, we'll have a different government in Scotland by the
Definitely. Do you think that basically will people be put off by this whole Brexit thing and this? Well, I wouldn't call it an exodus from party members from the Tories, but would you think that people are, with the whole thing in the past year and a half or something, that people will be turned off and that we might even see other parties gain more votes in a new election?
I can't see. I think people just won't vote. I don't see the Liberal Democrats gaining any votes. I don't know about you, Callum, but I just think it'll be same old, same old.
No, I can completely concur with that. The Liberal Democrats, I think, if they were going to make any winds of change, if you like, they would have done so under David Cameron, but they have proven themselves nothing more than a yes-man body to help establish Tory rule. And I think that the ultimately big picture that we're looking at is there's change happening in the Westminster Parliament, but it's not going to be a real effective change. If there's going to be a change in the Conservative Party, then ultimately I think the outstanding candidate most likely would be Jacob Rees-Mogg, who again, some of his views, in Scottish terms anyway, are completely outdated and out of touch with real working communities. So we could constantly go around in circles about this, but what we need first and foremost in Scotland is independence. Definitely.
Amen. Before we go on, I forgot to mention at the beginning of the show that we are being simulcasted via Independence Live. So everybody watching through Independence Live, I want to say hi to you as well. And thanks everybody from Independence Live for making this possible again. And people, if you want to help Independence Live continue doing their great work, go to their page and make a wee donation so they can continue their great work. Yeah, I mean the whole thing with there is not a good thing. Well, there was never a good thing coming from Westminster, of course, but especially with the whole Brexit thing, everybody's basically fighting with each other within parties. Do you really think, I mean, we've talked about this before, but do you really think that the SNP should just walk out again and not come back? Or because of they were voted in, they should sit it out till anything's been decided, either independence referendum or the whole Brexit thing is gone through? Or what do you think, Callum?
Well, I think when the SNP walked out, they should have stayed out.
Yeah.
Our friend Ian Leckenby says, you know, they've been down there, they've tried to play by their rules, they've tried to make it a better system for everybody in the UK. And I think that was good intentions. But ultimately, they're never going to play fairly. There needs to be an element of realism. And, you know, with the SNP, I think, when does enough become enough? You know, they've asked us to continue to say and show the desire for independence. The people up and down the country, and you know, a lot of families right across the board don't have that much money, but they're continuing to come out, top of the country, the bottom of the country, buying the posters, buying the flags, attending these rallies. They've got the mandate. Ultimately, the power lies within the SNP hands. The people physically can't do any more than what they have done to date to show them we are ready and we want our vote.
Yeah, I do agree to a certain extent. I do feel that they still have a plan, but like we've talked about on so many occasions, that time is running out. They don't need to hold the referendum before the 29th, but it should be called before the 29th, so that the whole the whole campaign can be started up, and it can be held this year. Graham, what do you think?
Should they walk out?
Should they walk out? Firstly, should they walk out, or should they keep representing their constituencies, or about a referendum? Should it be called or held before the 29th?
Well, firstly, on the walkout, I personally, and I know it's not a popular view at the moment, I don't think they should. Firstly, I think at the next general election, the Labour Party
Awesome, mate. Thank you.
Nice one.
So sorry about the interruption again. All right. Next topic. I have not seen much about this, but it came by on Facebook. I don't even know who it was, but it was somebody taking a politician taking a sneer, make sneering comments at Nicola. Did you ever hear anything about that, Callum?
Personally, no, but I think Graham touched on earlier on, you know, the attitude that SNP politicians get at Westminster. I think saying it's right, but what I'm saying is the climate that we live under, there is going to be people that is going to come out and say nasty things about individuals in the political scale. But I think Nicola Sturgeon has got a more than sensible head on her shoulders to not engage with the trolls.
Definitely. I totally agree. I mean, she never has. Whenever I saw her on Question Time or any other panel-based show, she always kept her composure, never blew up. Even if somebody's basically calling her names, she continued to be a true lady. Not, like I said, not blowing up in anybody's face or anything. So, and I'm sure nothing will be any different now at this point. No. Graham, did you see anything about this?
I didn't see anything about it, but it's quite common actually. I get it, and I'm sure Callum sees it a lot as well. That people say they hate Nicola Sturgeon, as they said they hated Alex Salmond. And all I say to them is, you not see a pattern here. These are working class people like you and me. And why do you hate them? Tell me why. I just don't like them. They never had a reason for it.
No.
So I think there's a small minority of people who just believe everything that they read. And Nicola Sturgeon and the SNP are constantly being put down in the media. And I think people just react to that.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely. The weird thing even is that there are a lot of people that, like myself, don't believe anything the mainstream media says, or hardly ever. But the thing is, if it's somebody that feels the same way but doesn't like Nicola or Alex, then all of a sudden they believe anything that's feeding their emotion towards that feeling that they have about Alex or Nicola or anybody, really. I don't know why that is. Could you explain that, Callum? Why it's just feeding their...
I think the world that we live in, Raymond, it's easy to, and I put in brackets, hate people that you've never met. You know, You can have a disagreement with someone. Like, for example, you've heard me say many times, I've not agreed with certain things that the SNP has done in terms of delaying calling independence referendum and things. But that's just me. But I wouldn't actually go out my way to say Nicola Sturgeon is A, B, and C, Ian Blackfield is A, B, and C, because one, they're a human being. Two, I'm above that. And three, it's just the most ludicrous, childish thing to do. You know, we're all human beings. You've got to have a bit of dignity about yourself. And I really do sympathise for people in these positions that, for example, I think I said last week, we've all got... The lady is in a position where she's leading the country. You might not agree with some of her principles, but it doesn't mean you need to insult her. It doesn't mean you need to hate her. It's just time for calm heads and a bit of composure, I guess.
I'll always have the belief that you should treat people like you want to be treated. And what if anybody would say something like that to maybe your parents or your brother or your sister? How would you react then? Just think before you say, before you speak, and and that's basically with medias like Facebook. That's something that's very, very far away. Sometimes it's people don't think people say, well, they don't know me. I am long, long away, and people just say what they want to say without thinking of the consequences. Graham, have you seen a lot of stuff like that going on well, not just Facebook, but...
I'm a wee bit gutted here because I just actually wrote a song yesterday about exactly that. It's called Thank God We Have the Media to tell us what you think. And I would have loved to have sung it tonight, but it's just so new. The words have just been written and are not in my head yet. But it would have been ideal for this this conversation tonight. Yeah. So I'm just working on that this afternoon, actually. We could
do that in the coming weeks. As soon as you're done. I mean, mainstream media has basically talked about quite often on the show, so it should not be any problem in doing that in the coming weeks, if you want to. That is, I mean.
Yeah, I'll get it out next time.
All right, no problem.
Can I just say though quickly? Yeah. I think that has been the case for a very long time though. And I do think that would have probably been perfect given the timing we've just spoke about, but we in Scotland, you know, we've seen all the scare stories leading up to the referendum. We've seen a lot of lies, we've seen a lot of malicious curveballs, if you want to call them that. And we've adopted this sense in Scotland of the mainstream media, the papers, the news stations, politically and culturally molding us into what they want us to be. And we've been fighting it now for a number of years, specifically after 2014. But for the people that come out and, you know, they put good content up on Facebook, but they still go out and buy the papers, they still tune in to BBC News, they still like to go in and watch their Sky News. I think in order for us to tackle this effectively, we need to stop giving them the money to the papers. We need to stop subscribing to their content online and giving their Facebook streams some sort of revenue.
Totally agree. Could not agree more. I mean, it's I just don't get, like, there's a lot of people posting stuff like, oh, we hate this and this paper, we hate this union, and union is rag. But then they go turn around and post an article from that same paper. I mean, why would you even do that, right? I mean, but then again, I've seen that happening quite a long time, like you said as well. Anything you guys want to add to this conversation so we can move on to the final topic?
Not really, no. I think, as you say, we've spoke about it before. I do think we're winning the battle, though. I do think a lot of people are now starting to, you know, realise that, you know, they're getting to the line. I think because we've all been shouting about it for so long, and I think we just need to keep shouting the message. So did you read that on the BBC? I don't know, so... just keep shouting the message, it's getting through, I think.
Definitely. Alright guys, I would like to, the final topic that we had is the international events coming up. Two of them actually. First of all, on 2 weeks before Brexit, March 16th, there will be an event held in Berlin. Will be the second event there by the Germans for Scottish Independence group. Good friends of mine, Marco Gerlach, and also one of our regular panel members, Colin McPherson, they basically help organize that event. They've already made quite a few announcements of people that are going to speak and play at the rally. So please, if you're interested in coming over, go to their site, go to their Facebook page, and find all the information that you need. Again, would recommend that if you want to come over, if you want to go over there, check flight availabilities and check accommodations because getting closer to the date, the prices will rise, of course. So check those out. And on May 25th, myself and the rest of Netherlands of Scottish Independence will hold our third annual event in The Hague. We'll be on the same location that we had it last year. All right, Callum took a snapshot. All right. All right. Graham, you were at the event last year. We didn't have that many people there, but in my view, the atmosphere was so good there that and a lot of people were interacting with us that weren't even part of the event. They would step up to us and what is this about? What are you talking about? What are you here for? And they were genuinely interested in what we had to say and why we were there. What do you think that the events in Europe for Scottish independence are important?